Well, hello everyone. My name is Jay Berkowitz and with 10 Golden Rules. And today we're going to talk about this new game changer, this artificial intelligence called ChatGPT. And ChatGPT is an artificial intelligence, and we're going to talk all about how to use this for your law firms. Now, I want to start back in 1997. And in 1997, IBM's Deep Blue, IBM's artificial intelligence computer, beat the world chess champion, Garry Kasparov. And that was one of the first times, I think, for most of us, that light bulb turned on that said, whoa, wait a minute, computers are supposed to be good at things like chess, but now good at things like checkers, but a computer beat the world chess champion at chess. And chess was supposed to be the combination of art and science and human creativity. And so that was kind of a realization moment. And then in 2011, when Watson beat the world Jeopardy champions, the all-time Jeopardy champions, Ken Jennings. And, that was another one of those aha moments where, oh my goodness, these computers are getting smarter than us. In 2018, an artificial intelligence software called LawGeeks beat 20 expert lawyers in contract analysis. And the technology developed by LawGeeks was 94% accurate. 20 of the world's top lawyers were only 85% accurate. The lawyers took 92 minutes to complete this analysis. The LawGeeks software took only 26 seconds. And so we're saying, whoa, wait a minute. The computers are catching up to us. And then in November, this new software called ChatGPT was launched. And Netflix took 3.5 years to get to 1 million users. Facebook took 10 months to get to 1 million users. And ChatGPT took only 5 days to get to 1 million users. Absolutely explosive growth, explosive interest, and this thing works, so people are crazy for it. And we'll talk more about it in a minute. And then finally, just last month, ChatGPT passed law school exams at the University of Minnesota Law School. It didn't do so good. It got a C+, below the class average of a B+. But ChatGPT can now pass law school exams. So there's significant implications for this new software. There's amazing new uses. And we're going to talk all about ChatGPT and AI, what it is, how it works, the impact on Google and marketing for your law firm, how to use ChatGPT to cover off some basic tasks and some new advanced software that's available today. We're going to talk about all different kinds of AI, really cool things that you can use for different tasks. I asked ChatGPT to write me a few lawyer jokes, so I'm going to try a couple of those, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. So without further ado, let's learn about ChatGPT, this game changer. So I come from Winnipeg, Canada, one of the coldest places on earth, home of the Winnipeg Jets. I always like to get that in there. And my wife, Bonnie, and I got really lucky and moved to Boca Raton, Florida. And there's Bonnie and our little guy, Parker, enjoying Boca Raton. Now, my career started, I was very lucky to work on one of the oldest marketed brands in the world, Coca-Cola. And it was a real challenge to work on a brand that had 100 years of marketing history. We did some amazing things. I also worked at Sprint in the very early days of the internet, getting people their first emails and getting companies their first websites and digital access. I also worked for the ad agency and as a director of marketing for McDonald's Restaurants of Canada. And I sold some of the most delicious and high-fat food in the world, Big Macs, French fries, shakes, triple shakes. I went directly from McDonald's to ediets.com, an online diet company. And we had a tremendous run of success back in 2002, 2003. We got this online diet company to generate $60 million in revenue by spending $40 million in online advertising on AOL, Yahoo, and MSN. And back in those days, we were just running banner ads. Google was still in beta. Mark Zuckerberg was still in high school. And while I was at eDiets, I was asked to speak at the Direct Marketing Association. I wrote a presentation called The 10 Golden Rules of Online Marketing, which became my first book and the name of our company, 10 Golden Rules, the Internet Marketing Company. And my 5th book is coming out this year called Internet Marketing for Law Firms. I speak at a lot of the big conferences all around the world. I am the judge and jury for one of the best internet marketing awards called the Best Digital Marketing for Law Firms at the Millie Awards. Here's our website, 10 Golden Rules, Internet Marketing. And one of the things I really love is when we're able to achieve a hockey stick for our clients. And in business, we use the term hockey stick because it represents the blade of the stick and the shaft of the stick for a typical hockey stick. And one of our clients got 1,000 or 2,000 visits to their website when we got going with them. And we got them up to 8,000 or 9,000 visits to their website. And we got they had 20 or 30 leads when we started, and now they're getting 226, 246. And leads are calls, forms, and chats on your website. And here's a relatively new hockey stick. We started with one of our biggest clients in November of 2021, about 14 or 15 months ago, and they had 1,100 Google search terms on the first 2 pages of Google, and we're proud to say we're up to 4,797 search terms. Now, this is so good that I got to put an asterisk. Results not typical. I can't promise this all the time, but this is amazing results. So without further ado, enough about me. Let's talk about ChatGPT, what it is, and what is this explosion in artificial intelligence that we can actually use in business. So I'm going to try and do this live, but if not, I've got the screenshots if it doesn't work. But basically, you log into this new tool called ChatGPT from OpenAI, and you ask a question like, do I need a car accident attorney if I was rear-ended? Now let's see how this goes live on ChatGPT. So I typed it in, do I need a car accident attorney if I was rear-ended? Press enter, and then you'll see that the artificial intelligence just types out the answer for us. If you're rear-ended in a car accident, you may not necessarily need a car accident attorney, especially if the accident was minor. However, if you were injured and there was significant damage to your vehicle, it may be beneficial to consult with an attorney. And it just types this out, and it's like a predictive model. And it's kind of like when your cell phone, when you're typing and it types out the answer for you. So it works in a similar manner by typing it out like that. So as it types out the information, the definition of GPT from ChatGPT is that it's generative pre-trained transformer. So basically, what ChatGPT has done is it's read the entire internet. It's read every tweet, the best of its ability. It's read every Facebook it could get into, LinkedIn, the Library of Commerce, like every single thing that's online. And then it's summarized this information using artificial intelligence. And then the answer is like predictive. So that's why it types out as it goes, as it's answering your question, and it gives it to us in natural language. And a lot of people have said the difference between Google is you ask questions and ChatGPT gives you answers. So it's pretty powerful for all different kinds of things. As I mentioned, I asked ChatGPT to write 10 inoffensive lawyer jokes. And so the first one it gave me, why did the lawyer cross the road? To get to the bar on the other side. Pretty good, actually. So why is this thing, so significant? Well, Microsoft just gave ChatGPT $10 billion investment, valuing the company at $29 billion. And there's rumors, it's not confirmed, but ChatGPT is going to be incorporated into all the Microsoft products like Word and PowerPoint. And you'll be able to do the kind of queries I just did while you're using these products. It's also going to be a game changer because ChatGPT is going to be incorporated into a new design of Bing. Now, we haven't seen it yet. The old Bing still looks pretty crappy. But the new design actually has a waiting list. There's over 1 million people on the waiting list. You can get there to bing.com/new. It's kind of funny, like, hey, we're waiting in line to see a new search engine. It's really, if you think about it, Bing's not exactly worth waiting for right now. But in terms of categorizing this thing and understanding it from a business perspective, I like to put it in 2 chunks. The first chunk is this is a new search engine. So it's going to compete with Google. Now, whether or not Bing actually works better and a lot of people are going to change to Bing, that remains to be seen. But definitely, like as a person, as a searcher, I think a lot of us have already started figuring out there's certain searches that are good to do on Google. Like if I just want to find a restaurant near me or a shoe repair, Google's really good at that. It's got the maps and everything. But if I want to see how to unplug a toilet, that's a really good thing to look at on YouTube. So we've already learned like, hey, there's different places to search for different things. And so I think a lot of times when we want an answer, we want to actually get an answer typed out for us, we're going to start, and I've already started doing it, using ChatGPT for those longer answers. A different light bulb goes off in your head. Hey, I can get a better answer for this over at ChatGPT. So it's definitely going to siphon off a lot of those Google searches and Google's ownership in the marketplace. The other way that I'm going to talk about ChatGPT today is it's a very powerful new tool that can do a lot of different things for just simple ease of use of life, ease of use in business, and obviously using in the law firm. And we'll share some examples today. Now, right on the cover of ChatGPT, it says there's some limitations. It says it may occasionally generate incorrect information. And the other thing to know about ChatGPT today, there's a new version coming out, probably any month now. But ChatGPT 3.5 is based on data from 2021. So you're never going to get anything up to date. You're never going to get sports scores or world events newer than 2021. And it tells you the answer like it knows the answer, but it knows the answer from 2 years ago, and it'll even argue with you. So just to test out these limitations, I said, which is the best internet marketing agency for law firms? Now, of course, I'm biased, but I think the answer is 10 golden rules. But ChatGPT can't quite figure that out because it says, as an AI language model, I cannot provide a definitive answer to which internet marketing agency is best for law firms. However, I can suggest some factors to consider. Look at their experience, their expertise, their reputation, and their communication. So just a fun way to say, use ChatGPT with those limitations in mind. So I asked it to write an article with an introduction and a bulleted list and a conclusion, a comprehensive list of what to do after a car accident. And it gives me a beautiful article. It says being involved in a car accident is traumatic, proper medical attention, what to do, stay at the scene, check for injuries, call the police, exchange information, and then it writes a conclusion with a call to action. Beautifully done. Now, so some of you are thinking, this is amazing. I never have to write another blog or article for my website again. But I just want to throw the caution flag up because Google and even Microsoft have said they're kind of hesitant and resistant to artificially generated text. They don't want to see a bunch of AI generated content all over your website as it pertains to search engine optimization, because they really still want great, authentic text. So, if you're going to use it for web content, you definitely want to rewrite that content. But it is a great place to get some ideas. So we've started using it for things like this. Create a series of clarifying questions about selecting a car accident attorney. And I apologize, most of my examples are PI, sort of car accident based, but obviously it works for, bankruptcy, family attorney, or accountant, or, really anything. You can create these kinds of ideas for your company. So sure, here are some questions we want to consider when selecting a car accident attorney. Does the attorney have experience? What's the attorney's track record? Does the attorney have a clear understanding of the regulations? Does the attorney have a network of medical and other professionals? I mean, these are really good, right? And so what we started doing is using like Google Sheets to sort these into different categories and developing plans and content for the website. This is kind of how we do it for search engine optimization and for website development. Another way we use these questions, and we've been doing this for years. You guys have heard about this on my video webinars, my SEO webinars, which are all available on YouTube if you want to see them. And what we do is we take a series of questions. We ask the attorney to answer those questions with the question in the answer. So like, what happens if an Uber driver hits you? And this is attorney Jeff McDonald out of Virginia. And he would say, recently a woman was in my office. She says, what happens if I got hit by an Uber driver? And so you're literally using the phrase that somebody would search in Google or ChatGPT in your question, in your answer, in your YouTube video. Then we optimize those videos for search. We optimize them on a blog. We add them to social media. We add them to things like maps and newsletters and stuff like that. So it's a very effective way of using the question for search engine optimization purposes, because when Google sees these questions, if you give the best answer to a question, you have a chance to come right up at the top of Google. Can you sue for a sprained ankle? And here Jeff McDonald has the best answer according to Google. It's what Google calls a rich snippet. And we're also seeing this section PAA, people also ask. So a number of other questions, if you click the down button, you're going to see the answers. And the website that has the best answer to questions is going to come up in those Google searches. So back to ChatGPT, we're using ChatGPT to generate a list of questions because for some of our attorneys, we've been doing this question and answer thing for 5 or 6 years. We're always looking for great new questions. So ChatGPT is an interesting way to come up with lists of questions. So, here's the question about Google, right? Is it the death of Google? In my opinion, absolutely not. But it could be the death of Google as the 800-pound Google-rilla. And what I mean by that is there's a business expression in many industries, there's one dominant player that we call the 800-pound gorilla. And Google in the legal space, for the most part, has been an 800-pound gorilla for the last several years. Most of our traffic, we rely on Google. We rely on coming up on Google searches, the local service ads, the Google Maps. There's only a couple positions in those local service ads. And so many firms are struggling to figure out, how do I get right at the top of Google in those ads? How do I get in Google Maps, right? So Google's kind of controlled the search results. It's controlled the majority of opportunity and the majority of traffic for new leads. So with the incoming of a Bing and ChatGPT enabled Bing, I think we'll see the death of Google as the 800-pound gorilla. By no means is it the death of Google. Google will, probably go from 90% of the market to maybe 70 or 80% of the market. It'll still be super important, but now we're going to have to figure out Bing. We're going to have to figure out ChatGPT. And oh, by the way, Google has their own AI software called Bard, which they debuted a couple of weeks ago. They fumbled the launch a little bit, but I'm quite confident, they'll be able to come up with a pretty darn good AI addition to search. Quickly, another lawyer joke, courtesy of ChatGPT. Why did the lawyer bring a ruler to court? To see how long the sentence was. Ba-dum-bum. So I did say those are ChatGPT jokes. I didn't say they were good jokes or funny jokes. They're just jokes. But you can easily get a dozen jokes and find a good one and maybe use it for a speaking engagement or to start out a conversation. So next up, let's look at some opportunities to use AI, artificial intelligence, and ChatGPT in your law firm. First one is a software called LawDroid. And by the way, Sam Altman, the founder of ChatGPT and the head of OpenAI, Elon Musk is an investor as well. Sam Altman recently said one of the best business opportunities is finding a way to build an application off of the artificial intelligence software. And GPT 3.5, the AI tool that ChatGPT is built on, so you can get access to an OpenAI and you can build applications in your industry on top of it. So if you or one of your kids is looking for a startup idea, that's a great way to pick a vertical and use AI to solve a problem. So LawDroid uses artificial intelligence to serve as a lawyer's virtual assistant, able to help with researching legal issues, drafting emails, correcting grammar, translating into languages, summarizing documents, brainstorming ideas, and it can even keep you company. You can even have a conversation with it. Another great use is to translate legal jargon into customer lingo for the rest of us, right? I'm not an attorney. And so here's the Florida statute for insurance. And it's like blah, blah, blah. And when you're a consumer, you look at this, it's pretty confusing. So just ask ChatGPT to translate it into grade 8 language. And it gets a little more simple. And you can even say, hey, ChatGPT, write it at grade 3 reading comprehension level. And now it's pretty easy for the rest of us. In Florida, car insurance companies have certain rules to follow. These rules are called provisions and procedures. They're the state's no-fault insurance laws. Insurance companies don't have to change their policies or tell anyone about the rules. They just have to follow them. Okay, so now some more additional basic uses of ChatGPT. Automating responses to frequently asked questions. So you could take all your questions, put them in ChatGPT, get a series of answers, save them to a document. How do I get legal aid or the steps in a particular legal case? You can automate that and collect those answers from ChatGPT. Provide legal information to clients, such as helping them understand their rights or options in a particular situation. Obviously, you want to have a lawyer read it before you give it to a client. Assist attorneys with research, summarizing relevant legal precedents. Helping identify patterns or trends in legal. So you could analyze large data sets with ChatGPT to identify common issues. Now, again, quick warning, there are definitely limitations. It's still a prototype. It does not provide citations. So it gives you an answer and it acts like it's a definitive answer of all time in the world. But if a law has changed since 2021, it's obviously going to be wrong. And it doesn't give you those citations. So for most actual legal work today, ChatGPT is only going to be suitable as a guide or as a give you a first draft or a direction, but you definitely still need to lawyer up before you give an answer to a client. It's also a statistical model, so it's not capable of understanding meaning or context, and it's trained on a large data set of human-generated text. So it may have some bias or offensive language, and everyone's been, sort of hacking it to try and find the worst examples and the worst graphics that it can generate. Now, here's an advanced application. I'm working with a very bright young developer, and he's been able to download about 7,000 documents, a bunch of industry-specific information, and then when he's getting he takes that the AI and he's written an application so that the AI reads all his emails, types out an answer, and drops it into his draft folder. So he doesn't have to do the hard work of doing the research, getting the pricing, getting the getting whatever information there is in his industry, and then he drops it. It all goes into his draft folder, and then he can just review the drafts and send them to clients. So we're working on an application like that for the legal industry. Some additional near future applications, things that are coming. So right now, ChatGPT is pulling data from 2021 data, and it's read the entire internet, but you'll be able to upload your own proprietary data and keep it private and keep it safe. And then you'll be able to do analysis on your cases. Find out, for example, how other clients have been advised on an issue by a firm, or find an expert on a topic. So you don't have to do the rework at your firm. Can do basic drafts of contracts and create standardized contract templates, and you can do legal research. But again, you've got to be a lawyer's got to check the laws after it creates a first draft for you. So let's move on to some additional tools and applications. Some of these are ChatGPT based, some of them are artificial intelligence. So this one is awesome. It's called Dolly, and it's spelled D-A-L-L-E, but I believe it's pronounced like Salvador Dali, the Spanish artist. And you can ask it to do things like ChatGPT. I said, create an image of a lawyer in Monet style drinking a martini. And this thing is absolutely mind-blowing, because I think most of us really thought that artistic creativity was something that was outside of the domain of computers. But this is unbelievable. And these images are all rights free, so you could use them in blogs and things like that. It's not that great at creating humans, but if you do it like sort of impressionist style, it looks really cool. Now this one, again, some of these things are even blowing my mind. And this one's called Flicky. And with Flicky, you can create a TV commercial. And the AI will even voice it for you using artificial intelligence voice. And so what I did is I used ChatGPT to write the text of the commercial. And I said to ChatGPT, I said, write a 30-second commercial about an attorney who's going to help with Camp Lejeune issues. And they're based in Virginia. And anyways, I'll try and play it. First, I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to do this. Should never do these things live, by the way. Presenting. But of course, I'm going to take a crack at it. So hopefully we can play the commercial.
For those who served at Camp Lejeune and suffered damages, we understand the hardships you've faced. Our Virginia-based attorney is here to help you get the compensation you deserve. We believe in fighting for justice for our heroes and their families. Don't suffer in silence. Give us a call at 1-800-123-4567. Together, we can make a difference and bring closure to this chapter in your life. Call 1-800-123-4567 today.
So is that the greatest commercial you've ever seen? Are you going to run that on the Super Bowl? Absolutely not. But let's say you're running OTT, which is the internet television, and you wanted to test 4 different options. I mean, with a little bit of time and effort, all of those videos are rights free from Flicky. So I didn't have to shoot any commercials. They got thousands of options for images and video. The text, again, was written by ChatGPT. I created a commercial in 4 or 5 minutes. So, if you wanted to create, like I said, 4 different options and test 4 different commercials, 4 different calls to action with OTT, the online computer TV buys that you can do, you could test 4 different options. And then the best one, you could start running it in your TV campaigns or your OTT campaigns. And obviously you could revise it. You could do like a professional voiceover and some professional music. Oh, by the way, it has music. I don't know if you could hear the music in the commercial. So really amazing stuff. Flicky. The next tool is the ChatGPT Chrome plugin. So this is Chrome is the Google browser, and we all use Chrome at the agency at 10 Golden Rules. And this is a plugin, so it's something you add on to Chrome. So there's a bunch of plugins we use for search and analysis and things like that. But this one's really cool. So I can now see my Google search results and my ChatGPT results side by side. Now, my guess is ChatGPT is going to make this go away because obviously they want ChatGPT results to be on Bing, and that, they'll probably take this opportunity away. But for now, if you're just checking this out and trying to understand it from a business standpoint, and I assume that's why you're here today, or that's why you're watching this video at some point in the future on our YouTube channel, you're trying to investigate how this software works, right? So here we see the Google result and the ChatGPT result side by side. Another tool from OpenAI, the company that makes ChatGPT, is called Playground. And Playground is basically, it just is, in this case, it's running ChatGPT queries for me, but it has an option to basically turn the volume up or turn the volume down. So what I mean, it's not volume, but it's called temperature, I think. But what it does is, like, let's say you set it at 0.5, that could be like very safe. And then 0.9 could be edgier stuff where it's not so sure if you should be sharing that at work, or might not be safe for kids and stuff like that. So again, million opportunities within the AI environment. This is another tool called Quillbot. And basically Quillbot, you can take your ChatGPT copy and rewrite the text. There's some promise that you might be able to then use that text on your website, and it wouldn't look like AI text, but it is an AI. The other thing is it can detect ChatGPT. So that's one of the tools that, like, professors and teachers are using to look for AI content. And then this one's super cool. It's called Futurepedia, and it shows you new AI tools daily. So if you want to see the new stuff that's coming out, this is where I discovered some of the tools. Really awesome resource. Now, we've been using this one. We've actually had the founder of Intaker, Puya, on our webinar before when we did a conversion and intake webinar. But this is a new chatbot, and you probably started seeing these on websites, in particular on legal websites, where it plays a video, and then it gives you a couple simple choices, like, were you in a car accident or workplace accident? Is it a Camp Lejeune lawsuit? And then, down below it says, briefly explain your situation. Were you getting any treatment? So that the artificial intelligence paths the consumer through an opportunity, and then it reaches out to the lawyers to contact them if they're looking to start a case. And this one's super cool, made international news. There's a AI software called Do Not Pay, and they're trying to use it for a court case in the United States or in the UK. They were all lined up to do this court case in February, but the courts threatened lawsuits because you're not allowed to impersonate an attorney, and a consumer was going to use this chatbot to defend himself in court. But clearly these things are coming. The sophistication's there, and there's all kinds of amazing new applications. So that's the content I have today. Be happy to take some questions. Feel free to type them into the Q&A. I'm not sure, Jenna could tell us if chat's enabled or not, but I'm sure you can type into the Q&A. And just quickly wrap up by saying that if you want to learn more about any of this stuff or see how you can apply, search engine optimization, or let us have a look at your pay-per-click campaigns as Bing enters the game, feel free to contact me at 10goldenrules.com, spelled out with TEN, or I'm Jay Berkowitz, or 10 Golden Rules on all the LinkedIn, Facebook, all the social media. And I really appreciate you for any speaking opportunities. If you think this presentation would be a hit at your bar association, or the Trial Lawyers Association, or any of your lawyer groups, I'd love to hear from you, and we can make arrangements. I'd love to come out and speak, or do it like this by Zoom. And with that, I see some questions coming in. So I'm just going to, I'll just stop sharing and see what we got here. Okay, great. Jenna said chat is working. Thanks, Jenna. And Ashley asked, can I use ChatGPT to create social media copy? And that's a great question. And the simple answer is absolutely. And so, you could, for example, take one of those articles, and you could, say, hey, write it, like I said before, write an article about 10 things to do after a car accident. And then you could say, and then create, 4 Facebook posts with 4 of the best things to do after a car accident, create 4 LinkedIn posts, and create, 4 Twitter tweets under 140 characters, and bang, it'll bang it out for you in just seconds. And then you could even use Dolly to create the image. So you could create a very unique image like the one I created with the lawyer drinking a martini. Is it possible, Derek Smith, thanks Derek, is it possible to get the code and train it on our own data sets? Yeah, and that's what I talked about with the young coder that I'm working with. We're using the OpenAI code. Like they released the code for Chat 3.5, for which became, they built the tool ChatGPT, but all the code is available for you to build on top of. So you can definitely get the code and train it for your own data sets. Question from Maria, can I use ChatGPT to outline blogs and then rewrite them, or will Google flag that? That's a great question. So I think the way to do it is, if you really want to do that, I would recommend using ChatGPT to write the blog and then rewrite it. Have a human editor rewrite it. But if you really want to go automated and you're not really concerned about long-term SEO, you could use Quillbot, Quillbot, to rewrite the copy. And I think it's supposed to be, then I think it's doing like grammatical checking and things like that. Thank you guys for so many questions. This is awesome. Michael, how are you? Michael Abramovitz. How do you know if ChatGPT is not plagiarizing copyrighted content? Does the site that reviews students' essays work for ChatGPT usage for that as well? So the second part's a similar question. So you really don't know if ChatGPT is plagiarizing content, but I think for the most part it rewrites content. So it definitely uses content from the web and rewrites it and creates original content. But it's definitely been busted so far for sources. So again, I would not recommend using it for legal arguments at this time, but it's definitely fantastic for research. But I would then go out and double check. Obviously, the data is from 2021. If laws have changed or anything like that, you want to be careful. And it's not supposed to be plagiarized content, but I wouldn't bank my legal career on that. Does this, and I'm not a lawyer, does the site that reviews student essays work for ChatGPT? Yes, it does. So you can drop your content from ChatGPT into Quillbot, and it'll rewrite the copy, work on the grammar and things like that. Michelle Carlson, how are you today? Nice to see you here. how safe is it to use content ChatGPT produces on your website if you edit it and make it your own? I think it's 1,000% safe, because really what I think most copywriters do today, like if you give them an assignment, like find write 3 case studies for collaborative divorces. The copywriter is going to go out and Google and find stories on the internet, and they're probably going to rewrite them, and make it a little bit more friendly and appropriate for the article. But it's essentially the same thing ChatGPT is doing. So if you rewrite it, if you edit it before posting it, I think it's safe. But I would significantly rewrite it, humanize it, and have an editor go through it so it sounds like really great content. Because that's one thing that Google's really been pushing for about 5 years now. And a couple of the updates we've talked about on our search engine webinars. There was one called BERT, and what's the other? Panda was really all about quality of content too. So we're going to update our webinar on SEO called the Google Zoo, where we talk about all these things like BERT and Panda and Penguin and Hummingbird and Pigeon, all the different Google updates and what they mean. But essentially, what a lot of these updates, and even like the core update that Google calls it, are all about quality of content and authenticity and your high ability to answer questions. So I don't think there's anything wrong with doing research with ChatGPT. Essentially, it's just speeding up your Google research for you, giving you a draft, and then apply your professionalism to write it, edit it before posting it. Ben asked, do you think ChatGPT will allow businesses to run ads on its platform in the near future? I don't know. I think we'll probably see ads on Microsoft Bing. We'll definitely see ads on Microsoft Bing. So they're coming out with a new chat-enabled Microsoft Bing. As I mentioned, you can sign up for the wait list. And I think we'd see ads there before we do on ChatGPT. The other thing is ChatGPT's, been very hesitant to monetize the model, and partly because Sam Altman and Elon Musk are among the group of owners. They don't need to make short-term money. But one thing they did is that they had no way of knowing the massive amount of interest in ChatGPT. So for a lot of us over the last couple of months, ChatGPT's been down more often than it's been up. And so you would do a query and it would say, sorry, we're over capacity right now. So I just purchased, there's a $20 a month subscription called ChatGPT Plus. I didn't hear the numbers, but I can't imagine they didn't sell 1 million subscriptions at $20 a month. So they're making $20 million a month right now. And that's probably just going to cover the computing costs. But it means I can do my ChatGPT queries right away. Obviously, I'm doing a ton of research on it. So I wanted to be able to have it at my disposal. Got some other suggestions coming in. Oh, this is great. Yeah, you guys, please share things. Deborah Markell shared. We've started using Magic Write on Canva to help with social and some of our website stuff. Magic Write on Canva. So Deborah, I assume that's a copywriting tool embedded into Canva. By the way, Canva is an awesome design tool. The main graphic we created today for the webinar and all the subject headings were created with Canva. What's the lead time to have chat similar to Joy's firm, Frank? That's called Intaker. And I think you could have Intaker up in a couple days. Just contact Intaker, tell Puya that Jay sent you, and you really just have to, you have to just drop an app. They give you some code. You just drop the code on your website. It's pretty quick, but you got to develop some sort of questions and answers with them. You got to tell them, fill out a form where you want the leads to go. What do you want them to do? Like, do you want text leads if it's a really hot lead and things like that? Danielle asked, what's the difference between ChatGPT Plus and the free version? Well, the biggest difference is that the free version's not available a lot of times. It's over capacity, and so you go on ChatGPT and you want to do a little research, and then you got to wait. It's pretty good I found, after about 6, 7 o'clock Eastern. So it's really a bunch of people in the business day using it that block it up. So at night it was mostly available, but since I've had the $20 a month version, it's like instant, fast, super amazing. Frank's going to go to Intaker. That's awesome. All right, well, I'll pause here for one more second, see if we get any other questions. If not, we'll probably wrap up for today. I'm actually at a conference, so I had to duck out to do this, and I'll go back and get smart and hang out with a bunch of lawyers. But feel free to, and please get in touch with me, whether you're live or watching this in the future on YouTube. I always like it when people come back like a year or two later and like, even just send me a social media post like, hey, watching your webinar, it's 2025, and ChatGPT is, you were wrong, ChatGPT kicked Google's butt. So, if this is like 2025, send me a note, okay, on my social media. Anyways, great to see everybody today. Thanks to so many of you for being here, and have a great day.